Today we're taking images from each of these and making pockets like all of these. So we have 5 very different images today that's going to be transformed. And while we make these pockets, I'm going to share my own techniques. So that's knowledge which will enable you to make the most of your own supplies. The process steps and techniques are here, and this week I've made them really user-friendly. So take a screenshot and find this and over 50 others over on Pinterest. So the first thing we're going to do is gather and fold a large book page. I'm using this book today, the Book of British Towns, an AA book, and the dimensions for this one are quite helpful. They're already going to be a tall rectangular size. So mine are 16 centimetres or 6.25 inches across and about 28 centimetres or 11 inches deep. Let's just pull one out. I've already cut the cords just to make that a bit easier for this. You can tear the pages in half if you need to. A tatty edge is fine. And if you don't have a book that's the right dimensions, and approximate tall dimensions are actually what you need. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. You can obviously also take a book page and just cut that or tear it down to size. For this project you can use glossy paper or matte, and it can have images or no images, just text or nothing at all. It really doesn't matter. We're not creating a project that requires particular images on the page to start with. We're going to fold this to make the basic pocket, and for that I want to take the bottom up and have about 4.5 centimetres at the top here. So why don't I just use this as a one to copy, then I get roughly the right amount. Again, I'd say roughly is about right. You can vary the height of the flap if you want to, and we're going to give that a really good crease and also bring this flap down, but allow just a little bit of space to give so that the crease here doesn't quite touch the top of the opening. Just makes it a bit easier to go flat in your journal. So about 1/2 centimetre there is about right. What I'm going to do is take each of those images from the 5 types that I showed you in the introduction and just talk through from the image what the challenges are and then how I address them to make them more useful, in fact useful at all, in each of my projects in my journal. And I thought I'd start with this address book, number 1 in your resource sheet. We're going to work down here and talk about how I use other elements and do things to it to make it work as an image on the front of this pocket, but it would work on the front of other projects that you create as well, whether that's journal cards perhaps, if you want to do one of those. And I thought it'd be great to share how I've done it, because I think I've been able to convert from a didn't really know what to do with this book to something that is quite pretty. These pages of roses are the dividers between the various sections in this address book. It's something I managed to receive gratis, and I didn't really know what to do with them, so I thought I would tear one out like this, have a look at it, and then see what we could do to just transform it and make it useful. So let's have a look at the challenges for this particular image. It's a flower which is pretty, and that's fantastic. It's a photograph as opposed to a hand-drawn image, and I'll be honest, I prefer hand-drawn images. And as an address book, to be honest, it sat in my cupboard for a while and I didn't really know what to do with it. I think as an image it's actually very big, so it's probably not ideal for putting in a journal as is. It's glossy, and I don't particularly go for glossy book pages, for example. And when I've torn it out, it's got a tatty edge. But let's see what we could do if we wanted to add it to the front of our pocket. Oh dear, it's too big. Let's talk about how I cut it down. I suggest that you don't cut all the way around. On your resource sheet, the suggestions I have in respect of each type of image are the bottom box in each column. So you've got the category, the type of image, the issues that we have with each of the images, and then I'm trying to put briefly the comments I'm making today in the video that help you make your images more useful. With this image, my learning from creating some of these is to not try to trim all the way around and shrink it. Take one side and take that off. So let's just show you for this one. For this image, I would keep the J on because it's just a little bit of peculiarity and interest for the eye. I would not trim this side. I would keep the tatty edge on because that then gives you contrast to the glossy of the page and the image. And I would take this down by taking off one edge. And if I give you another example, I've done it on here and I took the bottom off the bowl at the bottom that the roses are sitting on rather than shrinking every side. And what the eye does, what the brain does, is fill it in, and it doesn't worry that you can't see the bottom of this, but I haven't lost any of the roses. I've still got my image now and it's absolutely perfect. Tattiness, contrast, it does need something else, but let's see what that might be. I would glue this on, so I'm not putting a matte or any layer of anything else behind. But I am going to add something else that just acts as contrast to the image. And the benefit of this image on here is the way that we folded this pocket. We're actually covering up the image behind that's now upside down. But I look at that, I think it definitely needs some more. So I often use just a little piece of washi tape in my projects. And I have this handy little delivery mechanism with a lot of my very favourite washi tapes on it, and the one I'm going to choose is this little square hatch one. I take a piece, often I split it in two, I just tear it down. I'm going to put it on this side. I don't want to cover up any of the nice tatty. Put that down there, and the reason I've chosen the square hatch here, that's not very straight is it, is it's got what I would call that cottagey feel. Go to the style of the roses in this image, just to show that everything doesn't always work. Let's have another go. So I'd put that down there, or I'd just rip it down the middle and have a tatty edge of the washi. And already what we've got is something that contrasts to the gloss of the image. And all I'd do for this particular pocket is then take my sewing machine. You don't have to do this, you could do faux stitching, and just stitch around this image as stuck to the front. So whilst this is not glued, I would stitch around here, and then I would add snippet to the top and stitch around the whole thing. Let's add a bit of snippet. So this is my collection of snippets. In fact, it's shrunk a lot because I've used a lot recently. And I would take something, be bold, something that's quite colourful, even though this is already quite busy. And I particularly like this already because it's got green in it, which is a super helpful colour for adding to projects. It works with very, very many other colours and patterns, designs. Take a piece off, we'll get glue on here and stick that down. Have a think which way around you want it. It's a very busy snippet, but I like that. And what we've done is we've added something super tatty. If you haven't got snippet, maybe a bit of collage along here would work perfectly too. But that contrast now, along with the washi, really brings down the glossy photo style of this image. So all I would do is turn my pocket over, and with this side facing upwards, just sew up one side, along the top of the flap and down the other side. And if you want to, do a little bit of a forward and backward just to really add some secureness there. And that will give you the first of these pockets using what started as quite an awkward address book, albeit with some pretty images, but not so pretty glossy card. The next image that I want to transform is one from this book about birds. It's the Blandford Colour Series Birds in Colour, and I think it's tremendous because the images in it are hand drawn. The challenge is that most of these images are actually quite small. So what do we do to make best use of that? How can we build them up? I'd also say these images are, let's take one out, they're quite strong. A lot of black and dark brown in them and a little bit of maybe rusty bronze, but really, really beautiful. And I really wanted to make good use of these. Now, I won't repeat the format of making the pocket every time because I think I've explained that, but I do want to talk about the differences in how to transform your image. So to go from something like this, which again is quite small, it's on fairly matte paper, which I think is quite pretty. What I do is I take a mat and extend the image by filling out the front of the pocket. So I would use some of my plentiful supply of brown paper that I have in a very big box behind me. I have tried using, this is some of the paper I've made myself, well, I've decorated it myself with a mixture of gold and bronze acrylic paint. I just screwed it up, put some paint on an acrylic block and smooshed it over it. That's quite pretty, and that's okay to put behind this bird. But just plain Amazon packaging paper works as well. I make the eye think that the whole of the pocket front is interesting by adding a mat behind. With this one, I would put a mat. I'd position the bird squiffy, not in the middle. So let's show you on another one. Again, squiffy. It can be off the mat, down at the bottom right, down at the bottom left, but not plonked in the middle. I still have the washi here. I've got plain paper on this one, and the sewing is around the bird image, not the whole of the matted area. You don't need to put washi on, and you can vary the colour of the paper behind. This is actually a beautiful piece of wallpaper which I found in the local charity shop, and I think that's just stunning as a mat for this image, with a little bit of that brown there just to complement the bronze. And a very graceful bird here. Again, we've got it offset down to the bottom right, and the sewing is around the bird, so it's saying, come and look at me here, this is the place to look. But I haven't got spare book page that's just redundant and not part of the intended image. It says, I intend for all of this to be part of the image, but come and look at me here. And then with each of them, I've added snippet and I've sewn, turned it over and just gone sewing around. And I've put the sewing through the middle of the snippet just to give it a bit more security each time if I felt it needed that. This one is a neutral snippet because that's what I had available, but it seems to be that pretty much anything works. The green washi and the green in the snippet work really well, but to be frank, it just got what it got, and I think it works every time. The third image is very different, and it comes from this affirmation pad, if you can call it that I found in a charity shop. I saw it and I thought that could be quite useful, but I wasn't quite sure what to do with it, so it kicked me off with this thinking. The pages in it, so there's a page a day with some words on it, are very flimsy. So one of the challenges in making this look good, I think, is it looks like very cheap paper. I also don't particularly like the aesthetic. Although I like the words, I wanted to do something that changed that. The size is really good, but what can we do? So it's a really easy supply to transform. Just tear something out. And as with the flowers, I would keep the tatty edge, and that's a start. I looked at the size of it and I thought it worked really well for a pocket, so that's really positive. But because it's flimsy, I think something like this, first of all, needs a mat behind. And I thought rather than choosing a colour to distract the eye too, I would use white every time. So you can see on these, I've just used a little bit of white paper it's just copy paper with some typing on it to go behind each of these affirmation sheets. And although it's not a great deal of image extension, I didn't need that, it does add a little bit of extra quality and compensates for what otherwise could look more on the cheaper end. So that's number 3, pages and phrases from the affirmation pad. Poor aesthetic to something quite cute. The 4th type of image is a hand-drawn flower. So I wanted to use one from this book. This is a field guide in colour to wildflowers. It's a pretty commonly seen book, and it has just all of these amazing hand-drawn images. So the images are beautiful. I love the colours. The challenge with this is once you tear one out, you realise it's actually not that big, and it's not particularly well defined or distinct. Also, the colours vary, so just as the side of the pages show, you get some with yellow flowers, well, pretty much some with every colour, to be honest. Look, gorgeous different colours throughout the whole book. So I needed to do something for this project that would really give it a bit more punch and deal with those varying colours and really augment the aesthetic. So with the same pocket design, I have a couple of examples here. My tips for packing a punch in your project are: look at the colour in the flower and complement that with a matte behind. And the piece of paper that we have here, the pink, doesn't even extend beyond the flower. It can be a tatty piece, and that's part of a nice aesthetic. With this one, I've added one matte. You could do the same and choose 2 layers. So I have green because I have green in the image, and then something neutral so it doesn't compete with the image here. And we've built out the eye to see a gorgeous image across the whole of the front of the pocket, even though this image here is really quite small. It's probably about 1/3 of the front of the pocket, the real estate that we've got. So this is how I've made the most of images from my wildflower book. Let's look very quickly at example number 5. So example number 5 is images taken from this little book about art. It's one of those books that you buy and you think, surely I can do something with that. They're beautiful pictures, but you don't really know what to do. So they're quite small. They're quite detailed images. They're obviously photographs of the original masterpiece, and the pages are glossy. So a few awkward challenges there. Lots of detail, awkward size, but a beautiful image nevertheless. So to make the most of this, an image like this, I would take the page out, and this one has an image on both sides. So the first thing we need to do is make a choice. So if we chose this particular image, or I've got a nice Gordon's Gin advert here, I would back it again onto a matte here that's quite plain. So the reason I would do that is the image itself is very busy, so I don't want too much for the eye to look at. I don't want any more work to be done. I want this to say, look here, and have a rest when you look over here. And again, of course, what I'm doing is adding some texture to complement and give contrast to the glossiness of the paper. If you've enjoyed this video, then please do give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And check out this video here where I make a pocket from big book pages. It was really great fun. I hope to see you soon.